Hello, everyone. Oh, crap, I've just realised I haven't got my earphones. But here today we're talking about how to generate leads on LinkedIn with Sabrina. So let me add her to the video. So we're talking about how to generate leads on LinkedIn. Hopefully.
Hello, hi, how's it going?
Very well.
Good.
Please tell me, anyone who's listening, if you get a weird echo, and if so, I'm going to have to run downstairs like a lunatic to get my earphones.
Okay, no problem. So far, so
Can
good.
you, can you hear an echo when I'm talking, or not so much?
No, you're fine.
Okay, fine. Cleo, who's here, hello, and Virginia, could you tell me if you hear an echo? Because I know, yeah. And if so, I'll go run down and get my earphones. But if not, hello, Sabrina, thank you for joining me.
Hello, Jessica, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. As a quick intro, I met Sabrina because she very kindly accepted to answer some of my market researchy questions. Oh, thanks, Cleo. It sounds good. And we're doing a bit of a swap. So Sabrina's helping me with my LinkedIn, and I'm helping her with her Instagram.
Great.
But could you, as a bit of an intro, tell us about your journey to becoming vegan and becoming an entrepreneur, and if those things were linked or not? And
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. So I became, before about 20 years, I had a career in international development. So I was working in charities and doing a lot of fundraising, a lot of kind of, I guess you could call it relationship marketing, really, in a kind of fundraising space. And then about 5 years ago, I became vegan, and kind of inconveniently, everything shifted for me. And I really wanted to work to make the world a more plant-based, compassionate kind of space to live in. And it just felt like, for so many reasons, for our health, for public health, for the environment. And then it became quickly much more about the animals than it was in the beginning. But now that's a big part of it. And then during the pandemic, I decided to see if I can shift some of the skills that I had in my charity and fundraising kind of world, I guess, into something that could really help vegan and plant-based businesses to kind of take off. And so I decided, it's quite a rash decision really, to just learn everything there was to know about LinkedIn because there wasn't really a vegan LinkedIn expert that I could find at the time. So I thought I'll just become that. So that's what I did. About 8 months ago now. It was at the beginning of the year I started. Well, I was learning a lot before that, and also I used LinkedIn in my previous role. And so, yeah, I've been learning everything there is to know. I've been using my LinkedIn as a trial and error space, so that my clients don't need to cock up as much as I do. And yeah, I'm basically passing it all on to amazing vegan women, mainly, it tends to be, who seem to be my clients. So, yeah, or ethical in some way, on the way to becoming vegan, that sort of thing.
brilliant. Yes, I had the kind of the same thing with Instagram because my mum suggested it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that thing that I'm really interested in. That yeah, I could help with people with." Anyway, but anyway,
Good idea.
but, um, next question: why
Yeah.
should we actually care about LinkedIn? Is it just like stuffy men in suits, or is it maybe a bit more than that?
No, funnily enough, not anymore. So if people are sort of thinking, oh gosh, LinkedIn. I mean, I thought this, to be honest. I was a bit kind of like, oh God, there be dragons over there. You've got to have everything sort of suited and booted and buckled up and all this kind of stuff. And it was a bit like that. It was kind of a site really where you had your CV, you had your online resume, and people would come and sort of scope you out for maybe recruitment or that kind of thing. So it was a bit like that. But it's progressively becoming a bit more like a professional Facebook. So much more of a community, many more people just reaching out to each other, building relationships, and that kind of thing. So it's gone from being a kind of recruitment space to more of a B2B and even B2C marketing kind of space where solopreneurs, small businesses can definitely get new leads and clients. It's a really great space for, well, I mean, I love it in so many ways because it has this functionality that a lot of other online spaces don't have. So it's it's a networking site, it's a search engine for professionals and businesses, and it's also a social media space. So you can talk about what you do, you can find the right people through the search and filter thing, and you can get chatting to them, and you can kind of build a really great network, really.
Yeah, I'd have to say, of course, my heart's with Instagram, but
I can understand that. Instagram's also lovely.
the LinkedIn search features are pretty amazing, but we'll get back to those in a sec. I wanted to say, for anybody who's joining us live, please add any questions in the chat bit, or if you're watching the replay, put them in the comments and we'll make sure we get to them. Let's start with the beginning. You might have noticed with my questions, I kind of followed the path that your LinkedIn leads course, which we'll get to. But let's start with the very beginning. So could you give people watching some tips about what should be in their profile and that kind of thing?
Okay. So there's loads of things you can do on your profile now that you couldn't really do before. So it's got a few extra features. So the key things, if you've got your own business, if you're a solopreneur, you're a small business or something like that, the most important part of your profile is the bit that you see at the top, because people will be going onto your profile, and if they don't really like what they see, or they can't get a sense of what that you do, they will just bounce away, like we all do when we go to a website that confuses us. So you've got a banner, you've got a bit of you've got a space behind your profile photo that you can use. You've got your profile photo, and you also have your headline there as well. So those are the three things that are really critical at the top of your profile. Make sure your headline says what you do, who you do it for, and the results that you achieve. So don't just write something like company founder, because it doesn't say who you help and how, and it's a really missed opportunity to explain that very succinctly to someone in sort of 200 characters or whatever. So make sure you do that. And then your banner can include things. So a lot of people just have a photo or something, which is fine, but you could put so much more information in there. You could put information on your brand, on your services, and you can put some call to action as well. So contact me about this, that kind of thing. So you can actually get something about a certain service you want to sell in there. And I'll give you one more, there's loads more, but I do have a free profile guide that I'm sure we could link somewhere or another. I'm not very good with Instagram, but I just sort of have to link it. But I think it's in my link tree. I think it is in my link tree, which I have sorted.
So we'll make sure that once you watch this, go to Sabrina's profile and then click on the link in her bio.
Because there's 8 sections really that are really important that you kind of optimize to get it right. And so I won't go into them all now because I'll bore the tears out of you, whatever. But yeah, that top bit of your profile, most important part, to get people to then scroll down and look at the rest.
I totally agree, because I very rarely read, and there's lots of people that I connect with on LinkedIn, and I look at their about section and I'm like, this is really boring. It's like where they graduated from, and I'm just like, I don't really care.
Another very good point actually that you've raised there, Jazz, is that it's your about section. Really, if you want to attract leads to you, new clients to you, you don't want to really make it about you. You need to make it about them and speak to them in their language. Talk about that you identify with them, you understand their problems, and this is the transformation that you bring them. So yeah, they don't want to know that you went to university in this place or that place. Literally nobody does, sorry.
Cleo has a question, but before I get to that, very quickly, what do you think about third person versus first person about sections?
Oh, please don't talk about yourself in the third person, ever.
I've had it so weird.
Yes, that happens a lot. And sorry, I'm kind of holding my phone up, but it happens a lot. And it tends to happen with the really kind of established professional men who say all this. Yeah, no, it's really important that you talk about yourself in the first person, and you'd use a lot of you and your, so you're really talking, it's like you're talking really to the person that you want to be bringing to you in terms of your business. So you're talking to them in the language they understand. Yeah.
And before we move on to networking, Cleo has a bit of a difficult question. So she says, I want to be on LinkedIn, but under the name of my business. I don't want my full name on it. Is that possible? For a bit of context, imagine someone's a teacher or something, and they don't want their students or other people to find them.
So this is a tricky question that I get all the time, and it is difficult with LinkedIn because I think we're moving to a place now where we have a lot of portfolio careers, and a lot of people have a full-time job plus a side hustle. So it is a bit
both your careers. That sounds very nice. That's have a lot.
Yeah. So it can be a bit tricky. The thing is, you cannot have more than one LinkedIn profile, so you won't be allowed to do that. If you do that, it's possible you'll end up in LinkedIn jail, and you might not ever come out of it. That's the thing. So I would suggest, yeah, that's me. I would suggest that you set up your company page and start posting from your company page. So it won't be as identifiable as you. You'll have your brand, your logo, but you can post from your company page. The thing that I always tell people to post from their personal page, because people buy from people. I tend to work with sort of service professionals as well, but you don't say what you do. Is it a service business that you have, or a product business?
Mindset coach.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. So you can just post from your business page. It's not ideal, but if it's going to cause you problems with your current full-time employment, then it's better than the other scenario.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a toughie. That's a very specific example, but Beatrice, by the way, hi, has joined us. Could you give us some general tips about how to build our network on LinkedIn without being too awkward?
Yes, the awkward thing. This is something that I've gotten over a lot lately. It's difficult to get over that, but actually there are ways and means. So first of all, I would join. So groups on LinkedIn are pants, to be honest. They're not very active, they're quite passive, but they do include a number of people who have something in common with you. So if your ideal client is, you've identified who your ideal client is, that's a prerequisite to this. Go into groups that they would have joined and go and connect with the people in those groups with a very simple little invitation message, just saying it's great to meet other bleep, whatever it is they are, other coaches, or other, for us it's other vegan entrepreneurs. That's an easy one for us. And you can connect with them there. You can also search for events that your ideal clients would be interested in, so you can go there and do that. But the key thing is the awkwardness really comes if you try and pitch too early. So I would suggest not doing that and just having a friendly conversation. Pick out something, look at their profile, pick out something in their profile that resonates with you. Something, it might be even a hobby or something that they've got, or they did a post that you thought was interesting, and you can pick something out so that they feel like you're not sending a mass message. And ask them a question about their business or about whatever area it is of their life that you're trying to connect with them about. So it's that kind of thing. And then you can also, I find what works really well is to offer something free. So I offer my 8-step profile guide or whatever, and it tends to get quite a lot of interest because most people are they're a bit embarrassed about their profile or something like that, So if there's something quick and easy that you can help somebody with to solve a problem really quickly, quite a pressing problem quickly, sorry, getting a bit muddled up, ask them if you can send them that, and then when they come back and say yes please, send them that, and you'll find that rapport starts building quite quickly.
Yeah, I've just been through the network module of your course, so I've got all this in my mind. I disagree on one thing. I'm not sure you can actually do this on LinkedIn. I quite like sending video messages on Instagram, but I realize LinkedIn and Instagram are different beasts. Can you even send video things?
You can. So you can send voice notes on your phone. You can only send it from your phone. You can't send it from the desktop, but you can. Now, you can actually send a video, I think, from the phone. I've never been brave enough to do that, but do you mean a live recorded message at that moment? Oh, right.
I think preview. I go, hi, I'm Jessica. Thanks for following me. Blah 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 on Instagram. But yes. LinkedIn's a bit different, so I don't know.
I think that's fine. I think it's fine, and I think it all depends on who your ideal client is. So I have trained lots of different people, from people who are dealing with sort of like natural cosmetics, so it's business to consumer, to people who are doing sustainability consulting with very big companies. So probably a kind of, hey, how's it going? It's not going to work so well for them. But if your ideal client would respond well to that, then no problem. I mean, you can send, someone connected with me when I connected the other day, and they sent me a GIF of Forrest Gump waving from a shrimp boat. And it was funny, actually. I actually thought it was great. So, you know, it's the jury's out whether people like enjoy that kind of thing. Some people think it's silly. But do you want to work with somebody who thinks Forrest Gump is silly? I mean, really? You have to
I think
ask
if someone
yourself
thinks
that.
I'm silly, then I'll be like, well, I'm sorry, it's not going to work anyway.
I think it's a really good filter system. Yeah.
Just to backtrack quickly, Cleo says, I'm wondering, why do we want to get to know more of the people who do the same as us and pitch our service to them as they're not our target? Am I missing something? I think, Cleo, what we meant is that we are vegan entrepreneurs and work with vegan entrepreneurs. So we're in groups that have vegan entrepreneurs. But if your target audience is, I don't know, hairdressers in England, then you join the groups of hairdressers in England and then message people in that.
Exactly that. Yeah. So you might be a coach for other teachers, right? So you would join a group of teachers or something like that and start talking to them. Yeah.
So I haven't got to these modules yet, so this is complete learning. What kind of content do we share on LinkedIn?
Okay, great. Well, it's quite similar to what you share on other platforms, really. But the idea is that you really want to get people to know, like, and trust you. So initially, you kind of need to start sharing stuff that raises awareness. So it could just be like inspiring, or it's just a bit aspirational or whatever, or it starts to make people aware that they may have problems that need to be solved. So it's that kind of like initial phase that gets people kind of more interested in what you're doing, and then you can start talking about, you know, how you help people. So more like the advice posts or the value posts where you give away tips. Those always go down really well on LinkedIn. So it tends to be that people prefer the kind of more juicy stuff, the stuff where they actually get to know how, you know, they can solve a problem or whatever. So that's the kind of thing that people like to know. And then you can obviously do your sales posts, etc. But they work quite well when you embed your sales stuff. You're talking about your services with another type of post. So let's say it's a testimonial post, or it's a spotlight post, so showing something behind the scenes in your business. So there's actually lots of different types of content. But if I had to sort of give you 5 types of content, I would say it would be an engagement post, so something that just gets people talking. Could be a poll on LinkedIn, they're really good. A value post where you give advice and tips. A spotlight post which shows something going on behind the scenes in your business or talking about your services, or it could be testimonials or what have you. I'm just trying to think what the other 2 now. I've got to give you 5. Let me think. No, they're here.
While they come back.
Ask me another question, then I'll come back to it.
There's someone I follow on YouTube who talks about different social media channels and things, and she says that LinkedIn's a good place for kind of controversial opinions, not like crazy controversial. And she said that one good place to start is, I don't know what they're called, but when you're on your homepage, kind of the news bullet points at the top.
Yes.
I don't know what they're called. Kind of, if it's relevant to your niche or whatever, bounce off of those. And people love polarizing things on LinkedIn. So something that starts a debate works really, really well. So for example, just give you an example, the pentathlon that didn't go very well the other day for the German. Okay, so basically it was an animal rights thing. The German coach of the pentathlete lady or whatever punched the horse, who was visibly distressed, and it was horrible. And she went from first position to 31st position. So she was crying. The whole thing was a terrible mess. So lots of us have done posts about. Yeah, it was horrible, and that's against the rules of the. Sorry, there's a motorbike outside now. That's against the rules of the thing. And so anyway, lots of us put a post up about that, and it gets so much engagement because people really do like to participate in a debate on LinkedIn. It's more of a kind of, let's have a conversation about this. So interesting, you know, whether horses should be used in sports at all, whether all horse riding is cruel, etc., etc. My opinion is yes, but we're not here to debate that.
We won't get into that, but yes, mine too.
So Can you remember the other two, or have they disappeared?
Okay, the other two. My goodness, I like it's in my module, but was the personal posts. So definitely talk about yourself individually, about your journey to where you've gotten to, and even just simple things, going on holiday or your family or whatever. If you're happy to just kind of put yourself out there, it's really, really good. Yeah, I think I may have put the testimonial. Oh, your offer posts. Okay, so posts that actually talk about what it is you're selling, what it is that you're offering.
I wouldn't worry about forgetting things, because when I recorded a podcast episode on Monday and I couldn't remember the word for the search icon, the magnifying glass. Yeah. I couldn't remember the word magnifying glass, and I was like, the search icon.
That's the kind of thing that would happen to me.
So what I find interesting about LinkedIn, different, is that there seems to be like a lot of features, like the whole cover, what do you call it? Cover story?
Cover story, yeah.
And there's lots of things sorry, my questions are here if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Are there any kind of secret features that people don't really know about on LinkedIn that are underused, you'd say? Or anything that you found surprising while you've been geeking out on
yeah,
LinkedIn?
Okay, so it's interesting because, to be honest with you, Jessica, it's kind of like the kind of things that happen behind the scenes are the things that work really well on LinkedIn. So having like a DM strategy is better than all the bells and whistles that you have on your profile. So yeah, there's a few things. I mean, I've been trying out creator mode, which is kind of almost like an influencer kind of mode, where it tells you what you talk about and you have hashtags, etc. But I'm finding that that's massively reducing the visibility on my post, looking at the statistics. So I think I'm going to take that off.
Are there any benefits of creator mode?
I can't see them.
Hashtag.
Yeah, I can't really.
You can have like, I think it's 5, right?
Yeah,
hashtags
5.
on your things you talk about.
Yeah, and probably would get your. It could be that it gets your follower rate up, but I can't think why it's making the visibility go down at the moment. So trying to work on that. I'm not sure.
I'm wondering if, like, there's lots of social media platforms that started penalizing pages versus personal accounts. Like on Facebook, if you've got a Facebook page,
yeah,
you might as well just not have. Well,
yeah, you might as well not have it.
But you need to have one for certain things. But to get your posts seen, you need to boost them with ads and stuff. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's what they're trying to do.
It might be that they go towards that thing, because at the moment the organic reach on LinkedIn is good. It's reasonably good without you having to pay anything. So you can actually do quite well completely for free on LinkedIn, because I've also found that the difference between premium and basic is not that much, really. You can still connect with an awful lot of people, and if you do it well, you can build your network quite well on basic as well, so you don't have to pay, I think it's £50 a month for premium. So the things that I definitely recommend is the things that take a bit more time. They're a bit more of a kind of solid plan, but it works really, to sort of take that time to view people's profiles, find something that is interesting about them, and have that kind of rapport building in the initial phases.
That module about like creating the network, and I thought it was very helpful. But yes, it does take time, obviously. It's not just to like you create it once. But that is one of my pet peeves, is people that message me and they're like, hi, this is not on LinkedIn, this is on they're actually on LinkedIn. There's people that do funny things like that. The message me may say like, hi, don't put my name, even though it very clearly says that my name is Jessica, and then just do some nonsense like sale thing. And one that I get all the time on Instagram, and they're not watching, but it's a company called Smooth My Balls, which is literally shaving stuff for men parts, and they're like, you'd be an ideal ambassador, and I'm like, in what world?
Oh my gosh, this is horrendous. Seriously.
But on LinkedIn, there's people that send me messages sometimes. They're like, I'm really happy to be connecting with other people who are in the transports logistics field. And I'm like,
oh no.
I took transportation geography at university, but I'm not sure.
It was one module.
Yes, it was one module a long time ago.
I think I did that at university as well, Jessica.
Did you do geography at university?
I did, yeah, I did.
Oh, amazing. Me too.
Yeah. I
All the
loved it,
best
actually.
people
It was
do
great.
it.
And I'm pretty sure I did do transportation. I think I did, actually. Urban geography.
Are they? You said one of the no-nos is not being salesy. Are there any other no-nos about LinkedIn, like being salesy in the first message? Is what I mean. Are there any other no-nos you think about with LinkedIn?
So other kind of mistakes that people make on LinkedIn, well, actually, most of them are just mindset ones, if I'm honest with you. You know, there's no really big clangers you can make apart from what you've just described before. So above, because you're above me. Where, you know, if you're going to use any kind of automation, I wouldn't suggest you use automation, but if you are going to sort of use any automation, you must make sure that it's sort of personalized as much as possible, and that as soon as someone comes back to you and says, this is not for me, thank you, that it doesn't sort of continue bombarding them or whatever, which is bad. So that would be a major mistake that people could make. But the key thing is really mindset stuff. So I posted about it today. So it's people, and this happens with many of my clients, is when they just overthink it, like really, and then they get to a point where they can't even do it anymore. They can't do the video, they can't do the post, because they've overthought themselves to a place of inertia with it. And it's kind of linked to perfectionism as well. So it's sort of a fear that people have. And one of the things I really try and do with my course is just help people get over this fear that there are people on LinkedIn like judging you and sort of picking holes in what you're doing. I really feel that LinkedIn is probably the most friendly platform. I've never had a troll. Must be doing something wrong if I've never had a hater. You know.
No, but I guess there's a lot fewer randos on LinkedIn. Yeah. Whereas on Instagram, like, everyone can kind of really find your posts, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So you get, on Instagram, I see a lot of, you know, people have put a well thought out post or whatever, and then they've got really random comments, like just randomly generated comments or what have you. I think that happens a lot with Instagram. It can be a bit there is an automation thing going on in the background there, I think, that's making it like that.
Some things that are not a good idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of bots going around there, I think. But it's less so on LinkedIn. It feels like it's a very authentic kind of networking site. Who knows if that may change in the future and it becomes a lot more automated. But yeah, so I would say there's some mindset mistakes. Inconsistency. It works really well if you're consistent, even if that means you're only going to post twice a week, but just keep posting twice a week and keep engaging as well. So another mistake is that people post and then don't engage. So I think it's the same as Instagram, right? You have to kind of go and look at some of your ideal clients' posts, comment, like. I have like a list of URLs for sort of I guess the kind of influencers in our field, really. People who I would like to work with, follow these people and look at their posts often, blah, blah, blah. So I will go in and kind of comment on their posts and that kind of thing. So it's sort of so it's kind of just important to just keep engaged and have a routine, really. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think we talked about this before, but how do you feel about schedulers for LinkedIn? Things like Buffer, and there's others, but that you can to schedule your posts out in advance. Yeah, so there was talk of the fact that LinkedIn didn't like third-party schedulers, and that has apparently been schedulers, and it drives me mad. But yeah, keep going. Sorry, that's bad. Schedulers, Dan, if you're listening. Yeah, okay, you're right. And then but then that's apparently been disproved. So apparently it is fine if you want to use one, and you can sorry, the problem with them is you cannot schedule videos, polls, or another one, document posts. So documents are basically like the little slideshows. You get them on Instagram as well, where you sort of slide across. They're called documents. So it's weird. On LinkedIn, you have to upload a document, and you have to upload a PDF first. It's a bit annoying because it's very difficult to Instagram. You have to upload a PDF document to your post. So you download the Canva graphic or whatever, 5 things or whatever it is, 5 posts into a PDF, and then upload it as a PDF, which is cool, but you can't schedule that. So in the end, you just start thinking, I'm better off, I think, what I do is I map it all out in
I map out the whole month's content in Trello, in a Trello board, and add dates to it and everything. I don't know if people like Trello or what have you. I don't know if
I'm confused, but you can make it work like Trello. So yeah,
exactly. So something where it's just all there, and then I just go on in the morning, pick it up, post it in, and then I'm then in LinkedIn, so I can do my editing, my commenting and liking and everything there.
Makes sense. But you said it's driven by engagement with like all platforms.
Yeah.
So you'd recommend like posting and then kind of commenting on things and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I kind of recommend having a bit of a morning, and maybe really, to be honest, you need kind of 20 minutes in the middle of the day, maybe the end of the day as well, if you want to be really rigorous about it. So post your post, go and check your messages, you don't need to respond to anyone, or carry on with your messaging your new contacts and that kind of thing. So you can maybe message about 20 new contacts a day, 5 days a week if you're on the basic plan, because you can connect with about 100 connections a week before they're going to stop you from doing new connections. And I do kind of like 5 comments and 5 likes in 5 minutes. So just try and kind of, always like a little game, just gamify it. So just go on, go and have a look through and leave 5 comments for people. So
you're in your home, or do you like go to people, because you said there's like people that influencers, do you go to theirs?
Often, so every few days I'll kind of go to theirs and have a look at theirs. So I don't do that every day, but I'm finding that my home feed is now quite good, because it's full of people who, you know, are kind of my ideal client or whatever, so I can actually kind of pick up quite a few good comments just scrolling down the home feed.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all been very helpful for everyone. If people are interested either in that free profile guide you mentioned, which I've used, helpful, or just finding you more generally, where can they go?
Yeah, okay. So I am on Instagram, and when I've worked with Jess, I'm sure I'm going to be much better at it. But if you go to my Instagram account, which is the_impact_agency, then I have a
of this video, by the way.
Yes, so I have my free profile guide there, and then actually all the details of my services are there as well if you wanted to have a look at that. And then there's the impactagency.org is my website, but do come and find me on LinkedIn, and that's a bit more of a difficult URL, but it's linkedin.com/in/Sabrina J. Lee. You'll find me there.
And can you just tell us, because I think it's quite a cool selection of things, the services you offer?
Yeah, sure. So I have a completely DIY course, which I've got up on an online thing. So that would be without any access to me telling you what to do. And then I've got the thing that Jess is doing, which is a kind of group coaching and training course over 4 weeks. So we have a training and Q&A on a Wednesday. We're about to go into it now, actually. And accountability session where we get it all done on a Friday. And then there's a little bit of time with me as well to kind of review your profile, do a bit of coaching with you. And then I also have a one-to-one coaching program, which is a very in-depth kind of, we really nail your LinkedIn strategy and your content over an 8-week period. And that's my one-to-one coaching program. And all the details are in the link tree, which I have actually done.
And I was just going to say that your course that I'm on right now is called LinkedIn Leads, which is a smart name, because Instagram something doesn't work as well. Instagram Leads isn't it?
I know. You need something that also begins with an I for Instagram. Inbound Instagram inquiries for you.
Anyway, we'll move on. We won't brainstorm now.
It's a bit
Thank
cheesy,
you very much for your
no
time.
problem.
I think we're going to chat again in a minute. But anybody who's watching, thank you for watching. And please add any questions you have in the comments. And we'll make sure I'll poke Sabrina if she doesn't check her Instagram often enough.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually really would appreciate that. Well, thanks for having me. It's been a great chat. I've enjoyed it. I hope people have learned something. Okay.
I think they have. I've learned something. So there you go.
Good. All right. Well, I'll see you in 25 minutes for more learning. Okay.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.